Hi, my name is Darren Hartwell, and on behalf of the National Tractor Pullers Association, I would like to congratulate and welcome Stan and Matt Warda, 2018 NTPA Grand National Super Farm Champions with the Hammerin Hank out of Berrien Springs, Michigan. Stan, Matt, congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So this is your first Grand National title after 2 regional national titles. Kind of what was behind you guys deciding to step up to the Grand National level?
We had a lot of fun on the regional level and figured after 2 years of winning it, why not take a crack at the big one?
Okay, all right.
I mean, there was nowhere else to go, I guess.
Right, absolutely. So, you know, the season couldn't have started off any better. I talked to you guys down in Benson. 2 wins, swept the session at Benson, and just kind of got on a roll. Tell us a little bit about your season.
The season went pretty smooth. We were in control, we thought, pretty much of the time. But then the Ferrises and Dave Whalen come back on us and made it more interesting.
Good. So, you know, I know you had 3 wins on the year. 3 wins on the year, the 2 in Benson, and then North Iowa Nationals. What would you guys say was the biggest challenge of your season?
The biggest challenge we always find is picking the right gear and just getting the tractor balanced. I mean, all these tracks were new to us except for Bowling Green and the Michigan tracks we were familiar with, but over half the tracks we had never been to before, which at first we were thinking that might have been a disadvantage, but then again, it's kind of nice just going into somewhere with a fresh slate. You know, a lot of the tracks we run on region, we know, oh, this track is usually like this, and then we'd show up, and sometimes it wasn't what we were expecting. So just going into it, not knowing what to expect, I think kind of helped us, and we really liked it. Like, it was a challenge, but at the same time, it was kind of a blessing.
Yeah, definitely. So what would you say is the biggest challenge? Or the highlight of your year, sorry.
Well, we discussed that because we knew you were going to ask this question. So we were in our shop a couple weeks ago. We watched Rod Deck's interview from last year, just getting prepared for this.
Right.
And we knew you were going to ask that, and so I asked him what his was, and he said Benson.
Benson, yeah.
Which,
firsts.
Yeah,
it's hard to deny that.
First time, you know,
starting out the season, first time Grand National, go down there and sweep the class. I mean, that was awesome. My thought was, I liked Rockwell, Iowa, the second session for us out there. Yeah. We took second place the first night, felt good about it, went out the second night. They had the sleds maybe misset a little bit, and 10 of us went out the gate at 370 plus.
Okay.
So that was our second pass down the track. Now 10 guys all get to come back, and now you ought to have your tractor pretty dialed in after 2 passes down very similar tracks.
Right.
And we ended up winning that class, barely edging out Rod Deck, last year's national champion. So that was my personal highlight.
That was a good one too. I'm not
winning that pull-off with all them tractors and last year's national champion there, and everybody having multiple passes.
Yeah.
That was kind of my highlight.
Pull-off. That's big time.
Yeah. That kind of set the tone for the season for us. After that, we were like, man, we really can do this, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So tell us a little bit about how long have you been pulling? And where did you start out?
In the NTPA or?
Just in general. Tell us a little bit about your career.
I started when I was probably 10 or 12 years old, garden tractors.
Okay.
Right at our local fair, Berrien Springs.
Okay, all right. And for those of you not from the great state of Michigan, Berrien Springs is
just north of South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah, down in southwest
15 miles.
Michigan.
Yep.
People always laugh at us Michigan folks. I'm from Michigan as well, and they always laugh at us because we carry a map. But it makes it easy to find things and tell people where we're from. So, so you started out in garden tractors, and where did you go from there?
Mainly farm stock and stuff like that.
Okay.
He had a tractor back in the 80s that his buddy built. It was his buddy's tractor. He drove it, and it was called Stanley Steamer. It was a John Deere.
Nice.
And it was probably 500 horse.
Okay.
And we did very well with it. But then I got out of that and just kept farm stock pulling, and I think in 2012 we were going to build a hot farm, and this tractor came along and we bought it. It was just a rolling chassis, so we had to put everything in it.
Okay.
Yeah, one of our friends, Adam Evans, talked us into going to Allegan, Michigan.
Okay, yes.
Said, why don't you just...
Region 2 event in
Region 2 event, yeah. We had a whole hot farm. We had 20.8 38s on different rims and everything on the tractor. He said, why don't you put them Pro Polar back on there, double cut tires, and come up to Allegan and just play in a NTPA event one time and see what you think. And went one time, then we went to Hillsdale in 2012. That was the only NTPA hooks we made in 2012.
Late in the season, those are both middle of September and later in the year.
It was the end of the season, but it was us getting our feet wet, and we said, you know, we liked how that was ran. It was fun. I don't know if I want to go hot farm pulling at local fairs. Let's just stick with this super farm, and here we are. So 2013 was our first year really fully pulling, and we haven't looked back since.
That's awesome. So for those, it's a beautiful black international tractor. The Hammerin Hank name, where does that come from, guys?
That is funny. My grandpa, who passed away last spring, was a very shy guy. He just kind of wanted to fly under the radar. Nobody know who he was. We didn't have a name for the tractor the whole first season, 2013. So we came to Hartford, another local pull for us up in Michigan, and Tom Hartzell, the announcer. I snuck up on stage. My grandpa was sitting on stage, but he didn't see me do this. I said, Tom, why don't you announce the tractor as Hammerin Hank tonight? We've been kicking around names the whole season and hadn't come
Right.
up with nothing. I said, call it Hammerin Hank. And I told my grandpa, teasing him before we left for that pull, I said, I'm going to call that tractor Hammerin Hank tonight.
He said, you better not.
You're not going to do that. You better not do that. So I snuck up and told Tom, and after that, Tom just announced it as Hammerin Hank the whole rest of the year, and I guess that's how we picked our name. Just
Right.
as a little
Yep.
joke on my shy little grandpa. And
Nice.
now
nice.
it's kind of like a memory to him, like a tribute to him, to us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, guys, speaking of that, tell us a little bit about your partnership. I know this it involves your whole family. Tell us
Yes.
a little bit about how you guys all work together and travel this summer. And
Well, we have a friend of ours, Don Barlow. I met him selling him hay through his son-in-law,
okay,
and he's a retired truck driver.
okay,
Looking for something to do. In 2016, we wanted to go to Toma, and we didn't really want to drive that far on our F schedules. So I said, hey, Don, you want to drive us? Don said, sure. He's been to every single pull ever since, and we
since,
couldn't be
yeah.
more thankful for him.
Nice,
He will wheel
nice.
that truck around in the tightest little towns. He was a city route truck driver for years.
Oh, wow,
So,
that-
I mean,
that's
he can whip a
definite
truck.
advantage.
Yes.
Right, he can whip a truck anywhere we want to go. My mom, she's kind of like the glue. She writes the checks.
yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
That's the first thing. She makes sure we got food to eat, everything's organized, we're not forgetting stuff. This guy here, he does the driving of the tractor, he does the cleaning of it. I do all the wrenching, and then when it comes down to being in the hot pits, we kind of just work together on
Right.
where to put weights and what gear to choose, and it's kind of like a mutual thing between us there.
Yep, and we farm, that's all we do, we farm at home, and
That's nice. So you
Family
guys
farm,
work
yep.
together and
All
Yes.
year long.
that's
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yep, I got
That's-
my best friend and right-hand man at the farm, Corey. He's actually back cutting hay right now.
Okay,
But whenever
alright.
the tractor comes back to the shop broke down, he's right there with me diving in, even if we got to be there till midnight. So
Okay, that's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
That's very cool.
Yep.
So, who do you guys want to thank? I know we mentioned a couple people, but let's,
first person we got to thank is Ryan Salenbean here.
okay.
This
Yeah.
guy, I mean, he answers my phone calls every time I text him, whatever. We go to his shop. We usually only go once a year. I mean, we go right before the season starts, and that guy's just a wizard when it comes to diesel
Oh.
engines. I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to be competitive in this class, you've got to deal with Ryan Salenbean.
Right.
It's pretty cut and dry. I mean, you look at all the tractors in the top 5, they're all Salenbean tractors. So,
Right, right.
first person to thank is him. Second, I'd like to thank Carl at Atlas Tractor. He always answers my phone calls too right away. That seems to be a big problem in tractor pulling, is getting
People
parts
to
in a
listen,
timely
right.
fashion and answer you. So Carl's
Right.
always helped me out with driveline stuff. Cody at Corsa Data Acquisition.
yep.
They're in Michigan as well, right?
No, he's in Indiana, Central
Okay,
Indiana.
okay,
Yep,
okay.
but he's got our whole data logger system on there, dash and everything.
Okay,
Gotta thank my wife Debbie,
okay.
my son Matt, our driver Don, all the fans out there that watch us.
Yeah, without fans, we wouldn't have any
Yeah.
pulls.
Right,
Yep.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, you guys run a first-class operation, represent the sport and yourselves very well, and we appreciate it. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Stan,
Yep, thank
Matt,
you.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Congrats.